that day, I turn ahead to the coming Sunday to see what the daily word is for that day. And I mean, this talk has been planned for over a month. It hasn't been written for over a month, it was planned for over a month. And so when I saw, and this happens a lot to me, I'm sure lots of other ministers, I saw forgiveness. And in that message we heard that forgiveness is like preparing a garden. So I brought in my garden today. And I said, forgiveness is like removing weeds of resentment. These are weeds from my garden. Dead plantings of denial. Rocks of anger. Removed. And then we are allowed to see clearly the ready soil, the ready soul that was there all the time. Always ready. I know I'm kind of mixing my metaphors today, holy water and gardens, but I chose to do that. Drawing upon the lessons that some of us got to experience in Keys to the Kingdom, which we will be redoing. We'll be running that class again, I believe, beginning in January. We haven't picked the exact start date, but it will be probably in later January. There was a beautiful teaching on forgiveness, and I want to draw some of those lessons and share them this morning. David Owen Ritz, who wrote the Keys to the Kingdom, said, we can think about forgiveness in these ways. It is not forgetting. We may forget whatever it is we choose to forgive in ourselves or any perceived harm from another. We may ultimately forget that, but it's not about forgetting. It's about releasing the emotions we hold around whatever that issue is. It is not excusing. We are not forgetting is not a matter of condoning harmful or hurtful action. It's not that. Again, it's a releasing the energy that we are clinging to around it. And it is not denying. It is the opposite of denial. What I know in my own life experience, I cannot forgive anything that I'm denying. I must first fully embrace everything that I perceive that happened to me. I have to embrace it and admit it because I know that I do not have the power to release what I have not first embraced. As long as I'm in denial, I'm closed. And that's not the symbol of release. This is. That's release. I first must embrace and honestly and courageously admit what happened. And then I am empowered. Then I am not moving from fear, and I can release what is mine to release. David Ritz, who wrote the Keys, he discerned four separate stages in the forgiveness process. And I want to share those today, and I want to do it within the context of a story. And it's part of my story. And some of you may have heard some of this before, but I haven't shared this in quite a while. In 2003, which was 1 year before I entered Unity Institute, our seminary, I was still operating my management company and running my legal practice. And my management company was involved with managing condominiums. And we took on a new client who was a relatively large condominium association that we signed on to a 1-year contract. And I saw this as an opportunity an opportunity to help this association establish some sound building maintenance practices, and also an opportunity for me to save more money before I went to school. And so we began work. Within the first 4 months of that contract, we ran into, I don't know how many emergency repair issues. And in addition to those emergency repairs, the association experienced 2 floods that affected 12 homes in the same week. 2 complete floods in 1 week. Well, it was shortly thereafter that the president of this association filed suit against my company. I had never been sued before. I had been in operation with this management firm for 23 years, trouble-free. I believe that there's a healthy form of pride, a healthy form. And I took pride in my company's integrity and my own. And it felt to me as if my integrity was being directly attacked, that it was being torn asunder. What I am describing now is what's called the discovery phase, the discovery stage. It's stage 1. In the discovery stage, we look to see what is causing us emotional pain. If it is something that happened to us recently, it's pretty easy to discern. I knew exactly what was causing me emotional pain. I could see it. It was right there. I was right there next to it. It was recent. You may be experiencing emotional pain that came from an event in your past. And it may take some serious introspection, possibly the assistance of a therapist, in order to come to some understanding of the who and the what of whatever you're suffering, whatever is causing distress. But for me, I knew quite clearly what was going on. Well, I found myself in a deep, deep depression. This depression, I watched. I could objectively look at myself move through my day being depressed, and yet I felt powerless to change it. I've been in New Thought for a long time. My second major was psychology. I know this stuff. I had all this knowledge. I walk around with all this knowledge. I'm repeating to myself all of the New Thought affirmations I know. I am a child of God. I am whole and complete at all times. I cannot inherit what God does not have. Not sickness, not disease, no malady. It didn't change. I was still really profoundly depressed. I was functionally depressed. Maybe like someone who's struggling with alcohol is a functional alcoholic. They can still do their job, move through their day. I was doing that. But I felt lost to myself. Lost. I didn't know who was showing up and moving through the world. This went on for 2.5 months. And one day I was sitting on my sofa, in the middle of my sofa, where I begin my day, attempting to pray and meditate. And I was spent. I had nothing left. Nothing left. I was done. And I looked up, and I said, "Dear God, help me. I can't take this anymore." And my head dropped, and my vision came to rest upon A Course in Miracles that was sitting on the table before me. And I reached out with one hand, and I flipped the book open. And I saw one word immediately.